Hi. Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining me. Um, I gotta get this chat reloaded again. So, my life, my existence is it's pretty linear, it, straightforward. If you want it to be, if you are not the kind of person to embrace subtlety and nuance, it's real easy to explain my existence. I was born in a industrial New England town to a couple of addicts, and then I went. They split up, and so my life goes from group homes from the projects. I started in the so once my parents split, I lived in the projects. They lived in a couple of apartments together, but they just couldn't keep it together. So I moved into the projects, pretty linear projects, group homes, street. That's it. So that's all a lot of people need to know about me. If you wanted to simplify my life, I am a criminal who was born to addicts, lived in the projects, went through group homes, wound up in the streets. There you go. Now you can just hate me for all these things that were outside of my control. What I'd like to talk about today is the way that group homes are set up to evangelize people who are disconnected from their families. When you're in group homes, the only literature not the only literature, I'm wrong for that, but the literature that is ubiquitously available throughout all group homes is Chicken Soup for the Soul and like the Child Called It series. That you couldn't go into, maybe it was a sign of the times, but I'm pretty sure it was it because if you ever have any experience with group homes, either you or someone you love has had to go through state custody, they'll tell you. And I'm not going to look up the numbers on this because I don't even think that the numbers would be real because it's not even legal to ask people these kinds of questions. But I'm pretty sure that most staff members and social workers are of the Christian faith. That alone does not make someone bad. I'll say that. I am an anti-religious person, and I have my reasons. However, I can go on and say that some religious people are not evangelists. They're not going to try to proselytize you. Not all of them. Now, it says that they're supposed to. So technically, the ones who don't try to proselytize you are the bad ones. But I think they're the good ones. Now, being that the last leg of my journey that I mentioned is the streets, as you might imagine, I've spent quite a bit of time in and out of jail. Not prison, jail. Because I don't actually do anything that's criminal for anyone to lock me up, throw away the key. So I've never been to prison. Because I'm not a malicious person. I'm not a harmful person. I'm not a vengeful person. I'm not a violent person. Do I have the capacity for all of these things? Absolutely. Sure. No more or less than you do. It's not my conditioning, it's not my nature to be these things. However, if you put me in the right circumstances, I'm gonna turn up on you. That's plain and simple. As anyone should. Everyone, I would love a society where everyone is ready to jump up in arms to defend themselves and others. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem that I have is that luckily I was a smart kid, and these attempts at evangelizing failed because I see through the people's bogusness. I see through the entire religion's bogusness. It's all made up. It's all lies. It's all meant to control you. And it's bad. It's bad because I understand that part of you is like, oh, but the Jesus only taught the good things. Jesus wanted you to love your neighbor. But I'll tell you, there's no hate like Christian love. What they call love is control. They're disgusted by you. If you're gay, trans, anything outside of the norm, even though historically speaking, gay and trans people have always existed and pretty fucking normal. Did you know that? You're not normal for hating people that are just different from you. I'm not gonna sit here and speak for all the trans and gay people on the planet, but I do know that there's no justified hate or off rip until you get to know them. I'm sure if you got to know each and every trans and gay person and straight people, though, don't think I'm excluding them. If you got to know them on an individual level, I'm sure you could find something that you don't like about anyone. You know what I mean? If that's the kind of person that you are, if that's what you're doing. Now, the problem with religious people, all of them, is that every single one of them, except, I don't think that, I've never been evangelized by a Hindu person, and I don't think that they, seek power in this world or try to try to rule the world. But the Abrahamic religions, every single one of them thinks that they are in charge. And in their little section of the world, they kind of are. But the problem has become that we are a globalized society. It doesn't fly anymore because we can fly. We can fly. Is this the one I gotta do? Something, I don't know. I seem a little too bright, but then the brightness isn't what's. So is the gamma? Is it just no? You think it's. So I don't know. The exposure set to auto. Watch this. If I take the auto off the exposure, and that's as good as it gets. I don't understand that. What a weird little slider, and I can't change the number. But, and yeah, if you know anything about cameras or what exposure is, that's why I look like I'm moving in slow motion. All right. So when you're in group homes, most of the staff is like some kind of evangelical Christian, and there's supposed to be rules against I shouldn't even know. Okay, just like how Christians think that students shouldn't know if their teachers are gay, there's actual rules that I shouldn't know what religion you are. If you're a staff member inside a state-run group home, the residents of that group home shouldn't have any idea what your religious affiliation is. But the Christianity is so ubiquitous and so expected, especially at the time. This being the late 90s and early 2000s, it was just so, in America, it was just such that it's such the normal thing was to be a Christian, right? Like even like Christian bands were popping off, like POD. It's like, yeah, they were just popping off. It was very normal to be Christian. Luckily, we've moved away from that as a society somewhat. This is bothersome. I don't like. But then when I go that, it just makes it black and white pretty much. It's not that one. It's definitely not that one. It's not the contrast. I don't know what to do about this. Oh. I think that's somewhat okay. So if we go from there, no. We need it. We need it at least on the one. And then we can no. Oh, and then that's not helping. Yep, okay. I'm trying to get you guys like a real picture where it doesn't look like I'm on a 1990s webcam while I talk about the 90s. It's crazy, but and with super bright light, I don't know. All right. What is going on here? All right. So what happens is if you get into group homes, people try to evangelize you, which in every facet of life as it stands is you're basically constantly being evangelized. Like the football, the Mark Wahlberg football commercials and all that. It's all meant to try to bring you to Jesus. Which is silly because you if you listen to them, you're not supposed to meet Jesus until you die. So I don't understand why they're trying to bring everyone to Jesus. Which, okay, so Christianity is in itself an apocalyptic cult. It doesn't stop being a cult because lots of people believe in it. It's still a cult. It's still, and one of the main attributes of a cult is mind control. You're not allowed to think or say or do certain things when you are a Christian. And so, because of that, they think that everyone who doesn't want to be Christian just wants to sin without consequence or consideration. And they can't comprehend that sin just is not real. But leave the kids alone. Like if you were charged with taking care of a child who's been abused in their home life, if you are a staff member, a social worker, over a child that's had quite a bit of abuse, please don't try to drag them into your religion of abuse, where they psychologically torture people with tales of the end times and imminent death and the threat of hell. Nobody needs that. Especially because it's made up nonsense. It's all made up nonsense. It's fun. It's fun little stories. But it's made up nonsense. Astrology is too. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Satanists either. Like, that's the thing is, like, I have in my life had Christian friends. I've had obese friends. I've had satanic temple type friends. I don't judge people immediately based off of their stupidity. I don't focus on what's wrong with people. Because any group or anything that you belong to doesn't define who you. It shouldn't be your whole identity, regardless of the group. Like, if you're in a Pokemon club and you make Pokemon your whole identity, you're probably irritating a lot of people. And I personally, I love Pokemon. Pokemon's a large part of my identity. It's a large part of my upbringing, but it isn't who I am as a person entirely. And remember, I'm just a bum from the streets, from the projects. I'm just a punk kid from the streets of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I'm nobody. You don't got to take my opinions to mean anything. If you make Pokemon, if you make Jesus, your whole identity, go ahead and do that. But I'm pretty sure that's like you're in a psychosis. I'm pretty sure that there's something mental about you if that's what you want to do. And I would recommend seeking unprofessional help. Talk to the people in your community and your family, which is probably where you got the ideas from. You didn't get your first Pokemon card from your not family and your not community. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure even the person who gave you your first Pokemon card or loaded up a Pokemon file for you, or the first person you saw playing Pokemon, I don't think that they would appreciate that you've made Pokemon your entire personality. I don't think, yeah. And I get, to me, it's obvious that these ideas and religions are based on falsehoods. And for some people, it's just incredibly difficult to even consider it, because their whole life, again, their whole identity would fall apart. So don't put that in kids. Stop evangelizing kids. Just go to work and do your job. Be a staff member, and go ahead and live like Christ if that's your fucking goal. But don't get mad when people crucify you. Come on. That's what's good. Come on. You wanted to be like Christ, bro. Fucking take the consequences. Get up on the cross. Then wait for Daddy to come get you. It's your beliefs, not mine, man. Jesus isn't coming to save us. Aliens aren't coming to save us. We have to, I'm sorry, do better as people. We have to save ourselves and each other. And there's only so much we can do, because the sun's going to explode or a comet's going to hit this planet. And what can we do then? Nothing. Which is why space travel is so important. We need to figure out plan B. But also, science kind of indicates that we'll never ever leave the solar system. And Mars and Venus are not looking like good plan Bs. Unless we can learn. We got a lot of learning to do. And we got to do it fast. Because Jesus isn't real. But fucking global warming is. And do you notice that the people who, there's a distinct overlap of the people who would refuse climate change but accept Jesus? That's not a coincidence. That's which is it's I don't know. It's like you're in an apocalyptic cult, but then when we try to tell you that the apocalypse is happening and it's really caused by humans and not the devil, they can't hear it. They can't listen to that. They can't, oh no, it's the devil. It's the devil and climate change isn't real. That's the devil trying to deceive you. Deception is the tool of the devil, and he needs you to think that climate change is real so that you love nature more than people, because it says it in my Bible that you are going to love nature more than people, and that you're wrong. Jesus loved people so much that, he would condemn them to hell. He would condemn them to hell because he loves you. And he wants you to suffer for eternity because he fucking loves you. Yeah. And that's my complaint for the day. Don't evangelize children. Oh, but how are we going to save their souls? If we try to evangelize them as adults when their brains are fully formed, they might use thoughts and logic to actually reject this stupid religion. So how can we have to evangelize them when they're children? Because if they don't have a deep-seated hate for humanity and fear of God, then they're gonna grow up to be bad people, and then their soul is gonna go to hell forever. Nope. Absolutely not, bud. Sorry. That is not the truth. Just checking on the website here. I don't know why YouTube runs so slow for me. It seems like every other website runs perfectly fine and fast, and it's just fucking just works the way it should. But for some reason, YouTube seems very slow. To adapt and adjust. Yeah, all right. No viewers. Stream's over. Tired of you people just not even fucking joining me while I do this. Thanks for watching.